Hello, in this video we are going to be going over the most recent TMS features of our latest release. We're going to start out with a feature that has been requested for some time in regards to scheduling of settlements to be sent out. We're going to be able to manage this from our Generate Settlements screen as well as our settlements history. I'm going to start out by noticing this Send Settlements checkbox, which will be available here at the top left. Immediately will be selected by default, which would be replacing the function to send settlements while processing and the related checkbox in preferences that you currently have. So if that is what you are doing, you're going to be selecting this when you're processing, and then they will be sent out immediately. Otherwise, you're going to be able to toggle between the different time frames. Some more frequent ones such as tomorrow, Sunday, on a Monday, as well as set a custom date and time for then the settlements to be sent. So you are going to approve and process them the same exact way. You're just going to be managing when that batch is to be sent to the driver specifically. So once that is then either scheduled or sent immediately, you are also going to be able to then view a summary of all of those batches here when you click on the scheduled button at the top right of your settlements history window. So you're going to see a snapshot view of all of those schedules that were either sent over or are planned to be sent over. If you need a more granular view, you can click on View All, which will open up a new window, which will be our scheduled settlements list. So you're going to be able to filter for additional information, see the status of the specific schedule, as well as any notes if there were any errors, as well as then edit in a more granular way, especially for stuff that is still scheduled and has not yet been delivered, in order to potentially add additional settlements to that specific schedule or remove them as well. So again, additional columns to then filter by, as well as view the settlements and adjust when they are to be sent out. So hopefully that will help out with your planning and sending of settlements to the drivers specifically. We have made some additional changes in terms of a Winfactor integration as well. So not something that you will be needing to adjust, but if you do have that specific provider that you're working with that deals with Winfactor, you are now going to have all of your PDFs merged into one document to be sent off in the back end, and no change will be required from your end, but we're just updating some requirements on ours. The next adjustment we will have will be in regards to email integration, where we are now having the ability of connecting to different email providers such as Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, for example, via OAuth. So you are going to be selecting then your matching provider if that is something that you wanted to integrate within the TMS, and you are basically going to be then connecting that in a different and more secure way and following the prompts here to then get your email connected to the TMS to then send out accordingly from your specific domain if needed. An additional change that we have here as well will be in regards to a Loadboard integration. We are having an ability of providing a consolidated loadboard within the TMS, as some of you may know, which we have started some beta testing. So once any setup is complete, you are going to have access to this specific loadboard section under the operations within the TMS, and you're going to be searching for specific then origins, radiuses, destinations, time frames, as well as the invoicing company that you have it booked under. You can then filter by all of the load boards at once to then have all of those results consolidated, or you can then narrow it down to one specific board or a few, as well as a specific equipment type. You're going to click on search, which will then provide you a list of any matching results, where you're going to be able to again filter by where it's coming from, additional information of your rates, rate per miles, weights, get a more granular view and snapshot by clicking on the eyeball here, which will give you more of the details that you may be looking for. And if you have the integration live and enabled with the book functionality, you're basically going to be clicking book if this is a load that you wanted to take on, which then, depending on the provider requirements, will then do the necessary steps based off of each of those different providers to then create a load within the TMS automatically for you based off of these specific loads coming from the load boards themselves. So you're going to be managing those connections within the tools and preferences under the load boards tab. So as you can see, we will have an ability to currently connect with Coyote, CH, Uber, DAT, and Truckstop is going to be our latest integration here as well. That's going to be finalized within this release. So bear in mind that with some of these you will have to contact us directly in order to get the setup going based off of, again, the requirements from the specific provider. So we've sent out an instructional guide to you in terms of setting these up, but if there are any questions, please reach out to us directly and then we'll be able to help with the setup and functionality as well. One additional thing to note, especially in regards to the DAT integration, we are going to have an ability to post your assets, your trucks, directly to DAT as well. So if the asset is tied to the specific invoicing company linked to that integration that you had set up in the preferences, you are going to see a post to DAT button here. So under the truck profile, we are going to click that, and we will be then seeing how we want to post our asset in terms of where they are coming from with their origin. Their destination can either be a city, or you can select multiple states. For example, if you're going to a region, you'll be adjusting the equipment type, otherwise it'll be auto-populated by the trailer that is attached to the asset, and adjusting your exposure in terms of the availability here. So let's say I wanted it for early next week, Monday and Tuesday, and selecting how we wanted to be contacted. Once we save it, we can click on apply or OK, and that will then be posting the specific asset and capacity to the DAT, and we're going to be able to then also manage it from within here in terms of either making the listing invisible if we are potentially in negotiations with someone. Otherwise, we can remove the listing completely here as well by clicking on delete, and that will then remove it accordingly. One last adjustment we have with this release will be in regards to an adjustment for some images within the TMS. So we are going to be able to now erase certain elements of an image. Again, clicking on the edit pencil here, we now have an eraser button where we will be able to toggle the shade of the eraser as well as then the size. So if we are looking to delete anything, we are then going to be clicking here, dragging, and saving then accordingly the images with our erase edits. So that would conclude the updates included in the latest TMS release here. If you have any questions, especially in regards to the beta load board consolidation that we have and setting up those providers, please let us know and we can help out with that setup. Thank you.